A first listen of Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles. This is the third Beatles track I am reacting to on this channel. This is another one from their revolutionary album Sgt. Pepper's. Cut! I actually find out at the end of the reaction, and I've decided to put this in the beginning too, that this doesn't actually make it onto Sgt. Pepper's. This was intended to be on Sgt. Pepper's. George Martin has publicly stated that taking both Penny Lane and this song off Sgt. Pepper's was a big mistake, it felt like. Since my first Beatles track I reviewed on this channel, I have learned a little bit about the band, and this album came at a sort of a turning point in the band's history where they actually stopped touring and they turned into a solely recording band where all of their musical output just was intended to be listened to through albums. And so I think this brought about a lot of experimentation in the studio, and Sgt. Pepper's is sort of a testament to this shift. Certainly A Day in the Life of held up to this sort of experimental shift of theirs. It was a really, really interesting track with sort of different phrases throughout. And to me, it sounded like a very LSD inspired song. And so I'm kind of expecting more of the same from this track. With the track being called Strawberry Fields Forever, I imagine it is a track inspired from perhaps a place that the guys visited, maybe Lennon or McCartney visited when they were kids. And yeah, I'm just excited to sort of get into this music. But before then, I should add that 95% of you guys are actually not subscribed to the channel. So if you do have a second, hit the subscribe button, like, share it with a friend maybe, and all of that stuff helps the channel grow. So thank you for all of that in advance. So with that all being said, let's get into the music. Okay, here we go.
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real.
Oh.
And nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields forever.
Okay, I usually give super initial takes. I think this song is very much along the lines of A Day in the Life. It certainly has a LSD inspired sound to it. Just that little snippet right in the beginning really did sound like almost, you could imagine it being used in a movie where they're trying to like tell the backstory of a character, like a flashback or something. Just that section right in the beginning. So I imagine this is perhaps inspired by a memory of Lennon. It seems like this is sung by Lennon. Perhaps it will change, but I'm actually very excited about that. I do enjoy Lennon's writing a whole lot. So let's back this up again. I might actually just play that first snippet once again. Here we go. Yeah, just this part. You can imagine like a flashback.
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real, and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields forever. Living is easy with eyes closed. Misunderstanding all you see. It's getting hard to be someone, but it all works out. It doesn't matter much to me. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real.
The music seems to be changing again.
Nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields forever.
Okay, there's actually so much going on in the instrumentation. There's a lot of sort of almost just sound effects is the way I'd call them. I don't know if there's even an instrument, like this weird buzzing noise that's going on. In terms of lyrically, there's kind of a couple ways you can take this. In one sense, it's kind of apathetic, what Lennon's saying. He's like, nothing really matters. It seems like someone who's like very yeah, just apathetic towards life, I guess. Done with life in a sense, cynical. But there's also interpretation that can be said that it's almost like he's reached a level of like peace and like enlightenment where he's actually telling you it doesn't matter much to me. Like the highs and lows of life are all just sort of a part of it. You know, just take it for what it is. Almost, it's something that you only get from sort of having a very kind of almost life-changing experience that you need to have. Like a life or death situation often does that to people. Very interesting lyrics. I always like Lennon's writing. I find it to be like very stimulating mentally. I'm going to back this up once again and go again.
Strawberry fields forever.
Wow.
No one I think is in my tree. I mean, it must be high or low. That is, you can't, you know, tune in, but it's alright.
Tune in.
That is, I think it's not too bad. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to strawberry fields. Nothing is real, and nothing to get hung about.
Listen to those horns.
Strawberry fields forever.
Whoa.
Always know, sometimes think it's me, but you know I know when it's a dream. I think I know, I mean, yes, but it's all wrong. That is, I think I disagree. Let me take you.
Okay, I'm going to pause it once again. It's so interesting that listening to a song, I mean, these Beatles tracks are like taking a class in psychology or something, man. I just think the writing is so brilliant. There's so many different ways that you can take this thing. Now, to me, I've commented on their last song from this album that I felt as if it was very much inspired by LSD, and particularly those lines about tuning in and dropping out. And then a lot of people also came in and said that Lennon was actually inspired by Timothy Leary. And I mean, there it is again, tune in. I don't think as someone as smart as Lennon was, and as great as a songwriter he was, I don't think this is by accident that he's saying things like tune in. I mean, he does mean in terms of just tune into your life, but I do think that's a hint towards his sort of his connections with Leary and his love of what Leary's message was. There's a lot of cool things going on instrumentation wise, because they keep adding new parts to it. I love that about this album. Different phases of the song have different music to it. So we had the horns introduced. There seemed to be also like almost like an Indian guitar, maybe a sitar sort of sound going on. I believe those are like Harrison's additions to the song. Usually, he's the man with the lead guitar, I believe. I might be wrong about that, but he certainly has like sort of interesting instruments that he adds in, which I've learned about. Yeah, once again with the lyrics, man, it's really, really cool lyrics being sort of sung here. I mean, it must be high or low. That is, you can't, tune in, but it's all right. That is, I think it's not too bad. Super interesting, man. Like, it really is like a dude who's reached this sort of moment of enlightenment almost, that he's not allowing any lows to get to him anymore. No highs, no lows. He's kind of reached this midpoint. Really cool. I'm going to back this up a bit.
I think I disagree. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to strawberry fields. Nothing is real, nothing to get hung about. Strawberry fields forever. Strawberry fields forever.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to Ringo Starr, who is the drummer of the band. A lot of these songs I have mentioned the drummers on almost every instance, whether that be with Nirvana, with Grohl, John Bonham, who I think is in a league of his own. No disrespect to anyone else. I forgot the guy's name from War Pigs. Black Sabbath, and then you had the drummer from Gimme Shelter. All had sort of unique styles. Ringo has the most unique style, I'd say. It's kind of off kilter, you know. It's a bit strange. He has his own rhythm he plays to. It's quite a curious beat he keeps to, but I think he adds so much. He adds a new sort of flavor to the song with his little feels adding in there. Shout out to Ringo Starr, man. I'm gonna back this up again.
Strawberry fields forever. Strawberry fields forever. Strawberry fields forever.
Looks like we've got an outro to come again. Beatles don't really do guitar solos, do they? I noticed that about this band. Whoa. Whoa, okay, super interesting song, man. Very like mentally stimulating. It's like almost taking like I was saying, like a psychology class or something, or a class in like literature. Now the songs, I've got the video for the track right next to me, and it says Magic Mystery Tour Bus. Have I got the album wrong this whole time? Strawberry Fields Forever. I hope I didn't get the actual. Is it written by John Lennon? Blah, blah, blah. Dude, let's see. Let's type in Sergeant. It was intended for inclusion in the forthcoming album. Instead, with pressure of the recording company management for new product, the group were forced to issue the single and then adhere to the philosophy. The song was later included in the US. Oh wow, okay, it's not actually a song from Sgt. Pepper's. Okay, I had that wrong this whole time. Interesting. Regardless, I think it's from a very similar era. Okay. Look, regardless, I think this is in terms of this track musically, I'm gonna talk about what I liked and then also what I didn't like. In terms of what I like, I really love Lennon's writing. I think his writing is really brilliant. Nothing to take away from Paul's writing, but I find Lennon's approach to songwriting, his philosophies on life, it sort of has this dark, mysterious element to it. He always seems to be searching for some kind of answer, which I find really cool. His lyrics have a large dose of cynicism to it as well, which I appreciate. I think that makes for interesting songs, not to always be sort of happy and hopeful. I'm down. I'm all down for that. Musically very interesting. They added a lot of different elements to the song. They had horns at one part. I mean, the outro of the track can literally be used by a song nowadays. I hear so many songs nowadays using sections like this, and to think that this band was doing this 60 years ago almost now is amazing how far ahead of their time they were. I mean, literally, like that outro, I could hear that on a Frank Ocean album. On Nights, for example, halfway through the track, you have this whole musical breakdown that happens. I guess it was started by these guys, man. I mean, talk about revolutionary. 60 years from now, to think that your ideas will still be used by people is incredible. What else? I guess the musicality again fit the idea of being inspired by LSD. You have the lyric quotes. Very mentally stimulating song. Now, in terms of the cons, one thing I try and always do is be honest on this channel. What I'll be honest about is that in terms of the music I've heard on this channel, the rock music I've heard, this isn't the style that speaks to me the most. I think part of that is the fact that they were trying to be experimental. This was supposed to be very different, challenging the sounds of the time. I like things that are maybe more straightforward and heavy hitting, and the Beatles don't always fit that. I know some people have told me to check out things like Helter Skelter. I certainly like Blackbird a lot, but this isn't a song I see myself repeating and listening to while I, hoover around the house, or if you will. There's something you got to sit down and really, really take in and absorb. But that has its own sort of positives in itself. The fact that music can force you to sit down and really take note is pretty inspiring and cool. Yeah, I guess that would be my sort of major thoughts on the band. I think if I were to try another song, I would like to choose something that is perhaps more, I don't know, easier on the ears, if you will. Something more straightforward with more blues inspired stuff. If anyone has a suggestion for that, but all in all, I think this is a very interesting song. So I'll give it a thumbs up.